homeschoolers. We're talking about focus and how we can build that superpower. What happens when we want our kids to focus, when they would really rather be doing something else? It's such a valuable question because we're all faced with this situation. For adults and kids alike, we may sink into a project or even just think about a project, and before we know it, it feels hard, or we anticipate it feeling hard. It feels like a struggle. Frustration or anxiety starts to bubble up inside, and we're looking everywhere for a chance to release that pressure, to get away. This is a totally normal feeling, and it's important to realize that that first stage of the learning cycle is named the struggle stage, and it has that name for a reason. The key is to persist through the struggle and to work with our kids on how to do that. The fact is that struggle is normal. If our kids can learn to persist through those minutes of uncomfortableness, we not only build grit, but flow awaits on the other side. Our kids will be served well if they can learn to lean into the struggle rather than quenching the uncomfortableness with a hit of dopamine in the form of a distraction. They'll stand out from everyone else that lives life from distraction to distraction. Someone that can focus and persist to meet goals through the struggle, through the frustration and uncomfortableness is truly remarkable. That person is unstoppable. Here are some tips to stack the odds in our kids' favor. Number 1, as mentioned, learning is built on a foundation of well-being. Focus is very challenging when we're tired, hungry, or out of sorts in some way. Focus is often compromised if the environment is in some way noisy or distracting, or if we're task switching from one thing to another, or if there's a lot of presence of negative self-talk. All of these things can drain our ability to focus, and it's gone right out of us. Secondly, have kids pick their own goals. When kids pick their own meaningful goals, they're stacked up in favor of those goals actually happening. There's an ongoing interest, there's motivation. We need that. We need every possible advantage to be in our kids' favor in order for them to persist through that struggle. Meaningful goals, from our child's perspective, are key in that way. Third, check to make sure that challenge skill balance is where it needs to be. Not too hard and not too easy. And that we use Kaizen to break down goals into very doable bits. Fourth, partner with kids to offer emotional support or to take the edge off of a too hard challenge. Superpower time isn't about flying through learning easy peasy. It's about building grit to hang tight when the going gets a little rough. And that's built very, very slowly with lots of grace, positivity, and optimism. It may be in the form of you sitting nearby to offer emotional support, your child leaning into you for feedback or partnering of some type, or your child learning when to ask for a brain break, and ultimately striving to do their best to lean into that frustration, increasing their superpower, knowing that flow is on the other side. Happy bold schooling.